The race for Brooklyn Park mayor is still not decided after a special election on Tuesday. According to preliminary vote totals, only one vote separated the candidates, with Lisa Jacobson leading Hollis Winston by that one vote. A recount will likely decide the Brooklyn Park mayoral race. CCX News reached out to both candidates to find out what it's like to end up in such a close race.
I just remember seeing the text come across and just staring at my phone. I didn't really know, I thought, is this correct? It's one vote, one vote. And so I definitely, it surprised me a little bit that it was that close.
We also reached out to Hollis Winston, and he did not want to comment at this time about the outcome, but he did release a statement saying he will be requesting a recount. The Winston-Jacobson race isn't an anomaly in Brooklyn Park election history. There have been other extremely close races. In 2012, a city council race between Winfred Russell and Bob Maida ended up being decided by just 5 votes, with Maida ending up the winner. A recount involved carefully counting ballots by hand. The 5-vote difference didn't change with the recount in that race. And in 2004, a city council primary race ended in a tie between 2 of the 3 candidates. Mike Trepanier had the most votes, but Rand Hagland and Rich Gates finished in a tie for second. A coin flip ended up deciding who would advance to the general election, which was allowed under city statute. Gates won the coin toss. And much like those races, voter turnout for this special mayoral election was low. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on the turnout and what comes next.
There are more than 47,000 registered voters in Brooklyn Park, but most of them stayed home during Tuesday's special election. City officials say there was only a 14% voter turnout.
They could have been electioned out, so many elections that we've had already, Of course, last year was very, very busy, presidential election, but could be on vacation, things like that.
Brooklyn Park City Clerk Devin Montero says he was hoping for a 20% voter turnout. But for a special election in the middle of summer, a turnout between 10 and 20% is typical. Roughly 4,000 people voted in person on Election Day, while another 2,700 people voted early. There wasn't much action at this polling place in Brooklyn Park when we stopped by Tuesday morning. But with a likely recount on the horizon, there will be plenty of action at City Hall later this month.
A typical recount, yes, we do hand count each ballot. Okay, we sort them for each candidate, and then we compare those results. We count them, compare those results with the results tapes that came out.
On Friday, the City Council will approve the official results. The losing candidate then has 7 days to ask for a recount. If that happens, then election officials here will set a date and time to count those ballots by hand. In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Recounts are publicly funded, and they would be open to the public as the votes are tallied. In other news, the Minnesota Department of Health has begun releasing the number of breakthrough COVID-19 cases. Those are the cases among those who are fully vaccinated. According to data reported this week, of the nearly 3 million Minnesotans who are fully vaccinated, about 5,600 tested positive for COVID-19. That's less than 1%, or 0.19% to be exact. The percentage gets even smaller for those vaccinated individuals who actually end up in the hospital. Nearly all deaths, according to state health officials, are among the unvaccinated. The Wayzata School Board meeting was a packed house this week, full of the public weighing in on whether students have to wear a mask in schools. Superintendent Chase Anderson says this year will be the year of mitigation strategies, and the goals are to ensure the health and well-being of kids and staff and keeping kids in school every day throughout the school year. The people who spoke at Monday's meeting were divided on masks and passionate about their stance. Here's some of what they had to say.
Because of how masks protect others from getting sick, I would feel unsafe in a high school of 4,000 people if some of my classmates were unmasked.
I am not here demanding a one-size-fits-all answer. I am here simply asking for our basic human rights to choose what's best for our children.
I feel we should mandate masks because my mother is an ICU nurse, and I have seen her have breakdowns about this at home. And it isn't fun to experience.
I am generalizing here, but if you happen to be a child in a red state, you get to go to school. If you live in a blue state, you get to sit at the dining room table. And the kids in America have no say in how this plays out.
I implore you, it should be an option. It should be a parent and child's option if they want to or don't want to. It should not be forced upon them.
Together, we launched a petition in favor of universal masking, and we did this only 9 days ago. What I have here is the results of that petition, over 1,000 signatures in favor of universal masking.
The superintendent says the school board will determine a date for a special board meeting the week of August 16th or no later than August 23rd. And some of you will be headed to the polls this fall, and now we have a clearer picture of just who will be on the ballot. There are school board races for the Anoka-Hennepin, Hopkins, and Wayzata school districts. In Golden Valley, 7 people filed for 2 seats. And as we go to break, here's a look at who is running for election this November.
The University of Minnesota men's basketball team is looking to rebuild with new head coach Ben Johnson. A Park Center senior-to-be is planning to be part of the turnaround. For Park Center guard Braeden Carrington, who is about to begin his senior year of high school, committing to play for the Gophers is a good fit.
It just really felt like the right spot for me. It felt like home. I mean, this state is my home, so, the coaches were showing more love than any other school I was talking to, so, it just felt like the best decision for me.
Carrington averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists last season for the Section 5 4A runner-up Pirates. He's back home after a very busy July with his AAU team, Grassroots Sizzle.
Yeah, I definitely think I grew a lot as a player this summer. I took strides in my game and, I think definitely proved to a lot of people that I can do a lot more. It was definitely more normal than last summer, of course, because, last summer, we got to play a few, but not too much. And then this summer, we also didn't have to wear masks, so that was a lot better.
For Braeden and most top-flight players, the recruiting process is exciting, but also a little draining, so he's glad to have made his choice.
Once I knew it was the school I wanted to go to, I felt like it was just no point in me waiting any longer. So I was just like, let me get it done, make the decision, and it feels great. It feels like a weight off my shoulders.
He's excited to be able to play in front of family and friends in college. And before that, Braeden Carrington's ready to shine for one more season at Park Center. There is a national shortage of officials, referees, and umpires for high school and amateur sports. One Maple Grove man is trying to narrow that gap locally in a sport he loves. John Jacobson has more.
He's out! Maple Grove's Alex Miley has a passion for baseball. At age 22, he is already a veteran umpire.
Started when I was 12, my first job. So I was nervous, I was shaking, holding the pregame speech to the coaches. I ended up not even using the speech. Probably my dad used it as the starter for the fire that night.
But this is more than just a part-time job. 3 years ago, sitting in his dorm room at Duke University, Alex came up with the idea for his company called Walks and Balks, which contracts with local youth baseball and softball leagues to provide umpires.
I saw that there were some holes in how other companies had done it, and I wanted to try to do something better.
Walks and Balks currently works with baseball and softball leagues in both the Osseo Maple Grove Association and in Hamel. The umpires range in age from 12 to 65 and earn a minimum of $25 an hour and progressively higher wages from there depending on experience. Alex does his best to make sure his crew is well trained.
A lot of the training is done through various videos that I've made, and the second is going to the field and practicing where you stand, how you get out behind the base, and really make that call with authority is the biggest thing.
Miley himself played traveling baseball in Maple Grove through age 14. That's when his running career took off. He was an all-state distance runner at Maple Grove High School and just completed a successful college career at Duke.
I was always someone that didn't want to necessarily specialize too early, but I found greater success in running. It was a little bit more objective for me. It was like, hey, if I didn't go to the camp but I still ran fast, the times do not lie, and I think that was one thing that I found, but I still love baseball.
During the peak of the summer, the Walks and Balks Company was crewing up to 110 games per week. Alex believes in what officiating and umpiring specifically can provide a young person.
You learn very solid skills that you can take beyond just umpiring into your career. It's kind of your domain in a sense, and you do not necessarily want to be an enforcer, but be the facilitator of a game, and you're a really integral part of that happening.
In Maple Grove, John Jacobson, CCX Sports.
Alex began his full-time post-college career this summer working for General Mills. He's also coaching his younger brothers in fall baseball starting later this month.